Well, hello and welcome to the FIS Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. What an exciting start we have here. It's been a challenging few days leading up to this first race that we're able to run off. A couple days of canceled training runs led to the canceled downhill event. Here's a look at the start list on today's Women's Super G. 46 racers on today's start list, and we have racer 1 in the start gate. Myself, Britt Janik, here to take you through this event here in Narvik in Norway. You can see the conditions. It's snowy. It is not easy. Umbrellas being held over the racers in the start gate. We have Eva Undheim Johansen in the start gate, 18 years of age. It is Norway who will get this race underway. Now, it was the downhill that was meant to be the first event of these FIS World Junior Championships of 2026. But here we go today with the Super G. Still challenging weather conditions for these racers. It's today's Super G that gets things underway. And it looks as though we have just a brief hold, the racer being held in the start gate. You can see all the athletes, all these early racers preparing in the start area, having to be race ready in those in their race suits. So umbrellas being held by many of the teams. Pretty smart choice. Looks like winds are down. That has been the issue the last couple of days. High winds and challenging weather has caused the cancellation of the downhill disciplines. But here today we have the Super G. Today's course setter, so a reminder, the Super G is 1 inspection in the morning and 1 high-speed race run. These are big, high-speed turns, technical turns, and this Super G course has been set by the coach of Finland, Petri Tuomikoski. Race referee on course of the FIS is Jordi Puyol. Will be on course with the team of the jury, and it looks as though racer number 1, Eva Undheim Johansen for Norway, is getting ready to push out of the start gate. We have wet snow falling. Things are calm at the finish area. You get a good look up the slope. Lots of terrain on this race hill. Not overly steep, but that terrain will be key. Inspection is key in the Super G, and then the execution. And racer number 1 for Norway puts her poles over the start gate, and we are about to get underway here in Narvik for the 2026 FIS Alpine World Junior Ski Championships. And we are out on course with the young Norwegian Johansen, 18 years of age, out of the Asker Ski Club, which is just outside of Norway. Oh, and she's gone wide on that 4th gate. That's some of the terrain that we will take a close look at, keep an eye on, and it has caused trouble here for racer number 1. Johansen has had 14 Europa Cup starts across downhill, Super G, and giant slalom disciplines. She picked up her first ever Europa Cup podium just back in January in the downhill, where she finished 3rd in Podium in Austria. A little bit of air there over that terrain, and she has the finish in sight. Just a couple more turns here for Johansen, and she will set the early time at 50 seconds flat for Eva Undhjem Johansen. Well, we go right back to the top for racer number 2. We will run this quickly with these weather conditions. It's Logan Gross Didier for the USA, 17 years of age, and she goes just a little bit wide on that left-footed turn, but not quite as wide as what we saw from racer number 1. Now she's up by 0.44 of a second through that left-footed delay gate, and now 1.34 up, 97 kilometers on the speed gun for Gross Didier. Logan, just 17 years of age, grew up skiing at Mission Ridge in Washington, but skis and races out of the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. And Logan, oh, she takes a strong lead, 1.63 up. That's the new target time from our new American leader. It's Switzerland next in the gate. Celine Reckenbach, 20 years of age. She has one top 10 Europa Cup finish, and that came in Podium just back in January. And she, a racer, she goes wide and finds herself 0.64 off. Just not quite getting the line right, not seeing this terrain as well as she would like. Now she's through this delay gate, finds that tuck position at the next split. She's 1.58 off the pace that has been set by Logan Gross Didier. The American leads the way, but it's Switzerland out at the moment, challenging here through these final turns. And Celine Reckenbach will go into 2nd position, but it's that time gap. She's 1.59 off the pace. Elena Sana Stucki next on course for Switzerland, 21 years of age. And it looks like the message is getting back to the top to these racers to just adjust their line on that left-footed red gate. She's close on the first split. But where does she find herself here at split number 2? She's 0.37 off the pace. This will be close. She has top speed and just needs to keep working here. A course worker just getting out of the way. And Sana Stucki has skied out of the course. And I suspect that might be a rerun for the Swiss skier. The German racer is next to go. Now, a lot of these racers here in this Super G run are also part of the women's team combined race. The slalom portion will go off later this afternoon. So Antonia Reschel for Germany, out on course, 19 years of age. She is one of those. Her teammate Charlotte Grandinger will race the slalom portion of the women's team combined. This is clean, this is smooth from the German skier. She's 0.76 off the pace. Just getting thrown out of that tuck position ever so slightly. trying to keep these turns as smooth and as clean as possible. Now Reschel through these final turns. Racer number 5 crosses the finish line. The German skier skis into second position, 1.04 off the pace. It's still the American who leads the way. Quickly back to the top, Camilla Vanni for Italy. First of the Italians out on course now, 19 years of age. Out of the ski club Esercito. It's the Olympic Sports Center of the Italian Army. Other racers, other top Italian race champions, ski racing champions, have come out of the same club. The likes of Giuliana Razzoli, Camilla Alfieri. 15 Europa Cup starts to her name across downhill and Super G disciplines. Her first Europa Cup start was back in December of 2023 in San Pellegrino. She's keeping the skis clean and smooth here, and the Italians skiing exceptionally well on the women's Audi FIS Ski World Cup Tour, racing this weekend in Val di Faso. And the Italian goes fourth, 1.61 back for Camilla Vanni. We have the Austrian in the gate, Pia Hautzenberger, 20 years of age. It really is snowing, challenging race conditions here for these athletes. Not easy to pick the line, but for Hautzenberger, she is up by 0.18 of a second at the first split. She looks to be really charging here. These weather conditions and the light not challenging her one bit at interval number 2. She's back now by 0.4 of a second. Second place sits off the pace of Gross Didier by 1 second. So there is room here for Hautzenberger to move into a podium position. And she goes second. Oh, that's close. 0.11 of a second off the pace. Back to the top now. We go to Switzerland with Sina Fausch. And Sina her first World Cup start came in Tarvisio back in January of this year. So she's had that experience of pushing out of the World Cup start gate. 0.06 of a second off at the first split. Now at split number 2, she's 0.56 back. She can find a little more time here on the closeout if she keeps it clean, links these turns together nicely. And Sina Fausch for Switzerland, looking to claim a podium spot. Has she done enough? A couple turns to go here. Tucking for that finish line, and Fausch will cross the line, skis into third. Bronze medal position for the moment for the Swiss skier. Still holding top spot is a 17-year-old American. First of the French skiers to go is Emi Charbonnier, out on course now. And she's clean and tight with the line on these opening turns, and it shows on the clock, 0.27 of a second up. Ooh, and she cuts that line so tight. Really charging here. She's from Champsaur in France, in the Côte d'Azur region. Last year at the World Junior Championships, she picked up an 18th place finish in the Super G. She would love to improve on that here, and this is looking strong because she has the green light at interval number 1 and at split number 2. She has 3 gates to go here for the French skier. We could see a new leader, Emi Charbonnier. She's done it! Up by 0.41 of a second. Oh! And the French go into top spot. Next up to go, the Italian Arianna Putzer from Bolzano, races out of the ski club in Val Gardena. Now we just saw that clean, strong ski from the French skier. Charbonnier is our new leader at the bottom, 0.41 up on the American, and it's Putzer out on course now, 0.78 back at interval number 2. And Putzer will have her teammate Victoria Klotz run in the slalom. So she's here competing in the Super G standalone discipline, but also this is the Super G portion of the women's team combined. Putzer crosses the finish line into 5th position for the moment. Next up, we have Valentina Rings of Honor for Austria, wearing bib 11. Her first World Cup start came this season on the FIS Ski World Cup Tour. It was in Semmering in December in the giant slalom. Clean and tight through that delay gate, staying nice and calm and compact. And Rings of Honor in last year's Audi FIS Ski, in the FIS Ski World Junior Championships in the Super G discipline. The Austrian finished 7th. Can she better that here today? From bib 11, Valentina Rings of Honor crosses the finish line. She's 5th for the moment, a second back of the leader of the French skier Charbonnier. We go to Emily Worley for Germany, now out on course. She didn't finish in the Super G in Tarvisio. That's where last year's World Junior Championships were held. And she's just looking a little bit tentative here. These are not easy ski conditions. It takes a little bit of courage to be a little bit brave, to trust the surface underneath you. And Worley 1.96 off the pace on this shortened Super G track. Fastest time at the moment being held by Emmy Charbonnier for France. And it's 47.96 is the time to beat. And racer number 12 for Germany, Emily Worley, skis into 11th position. We go to the next Norwegian, Felin Borge Andersen, out on course now, 18 years of age, 12 Europa Cup starts to her name. This is clean, this is smooth. Oh, and she's just gone a little bit late and low in a spot that there just isn't the space to recover. She's made it, she's still in the course. But that error was costly for the Norwegian. Borge Andersen now through that second interval, 1.86 back. And now she's trying to make up for the error, really trying to run a tight line here. Good flight, a little bit of air there for Borge Andersen on the closeout here. And she tucks for the finish line. The Norwegian from bib 13, she's skied into 12th position for the moment. Her teammate, Helena Onhjem Overland, will race in the slalom portion of the team combined. We go right back to the top. Maya Maxson for the Americans is out on course now from Edwards, Colorado. Races out of Ski and Snowboard Club Vail. Currently ranked 16th on the NORAM standings in Super G. Oh, and she's in all sorts of trouble. She's just managed to stay in the course, but in a section 2-3 turns where it was a little bit steep and then it drops out onto the flats and she's lost all her speed. But what a recovery for the young American Maxson. Oh, and again, she's just getting caught on that inside ski. Maya Maxson, what a fight. A brave ski for the American. She tucks for the finish and Maxson skis into 13th position. But there was errors being costly for the American. The Norwegian next to go is Helena Onhjem Overland. And she is charging through this upper section. Now, Overland competed in last year's World Junior Championships, picked up a 35th place finish in the Super G, and she would, well, she's looking to improve on that here. 0.93 off the pace at interval number 2. Just opens up ever so slightly to keep these lower turns clean and smooth, and now finds her tuck position for these last 5-6 turns. And Helena Overland skis into 8th position for the moment for the Norwegian. Current leader, Emmy Charbonnier for the French team, sitting in that gold medal position. Next in the start gate will be Emma Ammann for Austria. And, well, you can see here that the weather just continues. It is not letting up. Snowy. It changes a little bit to wet snow by the bottom. Ski technicians working hard to keep the skis in good shape, make sure that they are fast for these snow conditions that we have here. Umbrellas being held up to protect the racers from the weather before they push out of the start gate. We just have a look at the slope here. What is good is that there's no fog sitting on the race slope. It's just the snowy weather that is making things challenging, but it's great to see that we are racing here today in Narvik after 2 canceled training runs. And they attempted to have a training run on the morning yesterday, followed by the races in the afternoon, but it was canceled first thing in the morning because of the weather. So it really is fantastic. We're here racing today. Women's Super G, which also is a portion of the women's team combined. The team combined is one racer does the Super G run and a slalom specialist will do the slalom run later in the day. And Emma Ammann is getting ready in the start gate. She is one of those racers that will also be taking part in the team combined. Her teammate Elizabeth Kuchera, 19 years of age, will race in the slalom portion, but it's Emma Ammann here out on course now, wearing bib 16, 20 years of age, will be racing the Super G portion. .88 off the pace at that first interval. Now, as we run these racers with that snow falling, the conditions will get a little bit rougher and bumpier. That's why we have all of the course workers out on the track, slipping regularly after each and every racer. Do their best to keep this track as smooth as possible. Now, Emma Ammann through these final turns. And from bib 16, she'll cross the finish line, skis into 12th position, 2.24 back of the lead. The top 3 top spots still being held by the French skier, Emmy Charbonnier. It's Cheyenne Zender for Switzerland out on course now, 19 years of age. Her World Cup debut, she has pushed out of the start gate the World Cup level. That came in, sold in the giant slalom back at the start of this season in October. She competed in the 2024 Gangwon Youth Olympics and picked up a 2nd place finish. Silver medal in the giant slalom and a bronze medal in the Super G. She has good form, but here in today's race in Narvik, she's 1.02 off at the second split, but she's looking very smooth here on the closeout. Cheyenne Zender for Switzerland. Into the finish area, skis into 6th position, 1.09 back. Julia Cunningham next to go. The American pushes out of the start gate.
1 minute.
Settles into this opening rhythm, 0.43 off the pace at the opening split. Skis out of Palisades in Lake Tahoe. In preparation for these World Junior Championships, she's been competing back in the U.S. across FIS races and on the NORAM circuit. Really skied through that panel, took the panel right off the gate. We'll probably take a moment just to fix that panel, but Julia Cunningham tucks for the finish line, and she skis into 15th position, ties with Borge Andersen, 2.57 back. Next up is the Swiss skier, Celia Kraus-Toros, my apologies, from Denmark. The Danish skier, Celia. Races mainly in Switzerland, but competes for Denmark. Smooth on that opening section and skis through the second intermediate to 1.85 off. Oh, and she's lost a pole, just didn't adjust for that breakover. Clips the gate a little bit heavy on that right-footed turn, and she's lost her pole on that left hand, and she's doing a great job to keep her balance. It's not easy when the ski racer loses one pole. She skis into 17th position, 2.70 back. We go to Danja Allenbach for Switzerland, 19 years of age, out of Turbach.
1 minute.
She had her first World Cup start this season. That came in Kranjska in the giant slalom. And she's had 3 World Cup starts this season and picked up 2 top 30 finishes, 27th position and a 22nd place finish in the giant slalom discipline. And this is clean, this is smooth. 1700s off at the first split. Now at interval number 2, she's 0.56 back. And oh, she needs to pick it up just a little bit to get inside the top 3. So Danja Allenbach for Switzerland, tucking through these final turns. Racer number 20 on today's start list skis into 4th position. Oh, top Swiss skier for the moment, but she's just missed the podium. Good ski from Allenbach. Mary Rennick next to go for the Americans. Races out of Ski and Snowboard Club Vale. Mary Rennick has been racing on the NORAM circuit and picked up a podium finish earlier in February. The NORAM races in Whiteface Mountain. She finished 3rd in the Super G. She's 2.11 off the pace here at that second interval. This is her first World Junior Championship experience. Rennick through these final turns, holding that tuck position. She will cross the finish line, 19th position, 2.986 back. Number 4 for her rerun here, it's Elena Sanastuki. If you weren't listening or watching, she got pushed out of the track due to a course worker, a side slipper that was just still in the track. It was there was no risk of impact, but she did a good job of just pulling up. He or she interfered with her line. So she has her rerun here. 1.05 off the pace for the Swiss skier at the second intermediate. Standing a little bit tall, trying to get a good, precise turn. which she's done well. And Stuckey crosses the finish line, 8th position for Swiss skiers in the top 10 at the moment. We go to the Argentinian racer, Nicole Beguet. She picked up her first ever Olympic starts, competing in the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games. She's also had one start on the World Cup Tour, and that was in St. Moritz back in December at the start of this season. It's a clean, strong turns from the Argentinian. 1.61 off the pace at the second intermediate. Now tucking through these final turns, the Argentinian Nicole Beguet crosses the finish line, skis into 16th position, just outside of the top 15. Racer 23 next to go, Sofia Amigoni for Italy, 20 years of age. The 17 Europa Cup starts. Her best finish on the Europa Cup is a 16th place finish in the Super G event that was in St. Anton earlier this season. Now she was 0.91 off the pace at intermediate number 2, and Amigoni trying to hold that line here, let it run out just as much as she needs. Now she finds that tuck position. Oh, and she's gone a little bit wide on that third to last gate, but she makes it to the finish line into the top 15, 11th place for the Italian. Top position being held still by the French skier. Emi Charbonnier holds top spot with a time of 47.96. And it's the Austrian out on course now, Elena Riederer. Oh, and she just gets thrown by that terrain on the opening turns. Goes wide, good recovery. Another good recovery here from the Austrian Riederer. Elena Riederer has 5 World Cup starts to her name. Her first World Cup start was in the 2025 World Cup season in Sestriere in the giant slalom. 1.43 off the pace at the second intermediate. And now through these final turns, lots of rolling terrain here on the closeout. On this Super G slope here in Narvik. And she's 13th position for the moment for Elena Riederer. Beatrice May next to go for the Americans. The Americans hold a medal position for the moment with Logan Grosdidier. She was one of the early starters. And Beatrice May, 4/10 off. Races out of Ski and Snowboard Club Vale. And Beatrice May will be competing this afternoon in the slalom event on a different team. Obviously, she can't compete on her own in the Super G and slalom. But Beatrice May will compete as the slalom skier for Julia Cunningham's combined team. And Beatrice May skis into the top 15, 14th position for Beatrice May. Katie Rowenkamp next to go. Next of the Americans. Rowenkamp. Skis out of Birken Mountain Ski Academy. 0.48 off the pace at intermediate number 1. Oh, just a little bit of trouble there. Getting caught on the inside ski at the end of the turn. But good recoveries. Drops into the next turn nice and smooth. And now lets it run out onto the flats across through that second intermediate. 1.38 off the pace. Clocks a speed of 96 kilometers per hour. 2 Europa Cup starts to her name for Rowan Camp, and she crosses the finish line into 21st position, just ahead of her teammate Cunningham. Next to go out on course, Eva Schachner for Austria. Now Schachner has had 7 Europa Cup starts, and she's only 1500ths of a second off the pace at that first intermediate, but now as she approaches the second intermediate and drops on to the flatter section, she's made a couple of errors, gets pushed a little bit late and low in the line, and she's now 1.38 off the pace. Schachner, again, getting a little bit late and low in the line, just narrowly makes it around the blue gate. And she's safely tucking through the finish line, 19th position for the Austrian. We go to Finland, next to go, Ada Kanto. Now out on course. She had a World Cup start in the opening slalom back in 2024. That was her World Cup debut in Levi in the slalom discipline. And here she is racing the Super G. So we will see her competing in the other disciplines here. These World Junior Championships in Narvik. Kanto now through these final turns, tucks for the finish line. Ida Kanto for Finland skis in a 27th position for the moment. Katarina Shrobova for Slovakia out on course now, 21 years of age. Slalom is her strongest discipline, but she competes in the downhill and the Super G. She also competed in the Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. She also had her World Cup debut this season, competing in the Spindelruv slalom race in the Czech Republic at the end of January. She's 2.23 off at that second intermediate. Katarina Shrobova for Slovakia. Through this lower section, lots of terrain, and she's making good use of that terrain, staying low in her tuck position. And Katarina Shrobova crosses the finish line, 28th position, 3.32 back. The Italians next to go. Ludovica Righi, 20 years of age, pushes out of the start gate. Racer number 30. We have 46 racers on today's Super G start list. And she's 0.55 off the pace at interval number 1. Absolutely needs to be mentioned, the incredible downhill results for the Italian women over in Val di Fassa. Laura Pirovano taking the double win for the Italians, and also stepped into that leader's bib in the downhill standings. So impressive skiing in the World Cup, and impressive skiing here from the Italians at these World Junior Championships in the Super G. Ludovica from bib 30 skis into 10th position, 1.27 back. That's a great ski. Well, there's your current leader, Emy Charbonnier, for the French team. She leads the way ahead of Logan Grossdidier for the American. Sits 0.41 back of the lead, and it's Pia Hautzenberger for Austria, staying in that bronze medal position. The Swiss have 4 in the top 10, but have missed out on the podium positions. Dania Allenbach leads the way for the Swiss in 4th, followed by Sina Fausch in 5th. Valentina Rings-Vanner for Austria is 6th, and Cheyenne Zander for Switzerland 7th, and Elena Sanastucci 8th position. She was the racer that had that rerun. The top Italian, Ariana Putzer, and followed by Ludovica Righi, who just skied into 10th position. We'll get back underway here in just over a minute's time with racer 31, and we'll make our way through the remaining starters on the list here for the Super G. 46 racers on this Super G start list. A reminder that this is also the Super G portion of the women's team combined. The slalom run will conclude the team combined, and that will go out at 2:30 p.m. local time. Oh, you can see there on the umbrella, it isn't just snow falling, it's rain at the bottom, wet snow at the top of this race course. And there's Emmy Charbonnier just getting protected by the umbrella at the finish by her coach. It's Finland next to go in the start gate. Racer 31 is Kia Suni. Made her World Cup debut in Levi in the slalom discipline back at the start of this World Cup season back in November, and she is now out on course. Suni has been racing in both slalom Europa Cup races and in Super G. She didn't finish the most recent Europa Cup Super G race in Sarntal. Only 6 Europa Cup starts for the young Finnish skier. She's 1.30 off the pace at intermediate number 2. And now Kia Suni through these final turns. From bib 31, the Finnish skier will ski into 15th position, 1.91 back. Great finish from Kia Suni. It's Nikola Komorowska for Poland next to go. Now, Komorowska is out of Zakopane in Poland. Has 2 World Cup starts to her name. Her World Cup debut came in St. Moritz in the downhill discipline back in December of 2025. And there on these opening turns, you can see how challenging these conditions are, and she is fighting, working hard to stay in that ideal racing line. Oh, and she absolutely skis through that red panel. The skis go around the gate, but it's the upper body that went right through the panel. So Komorowska for Poland makes it through all the turns, and she tucks for the finish line. From bib 32, she skis into 27th position, 2.64 back. Next to go now for Great Britain is Nicole Wardley. Now Wardley he's trying to keep it clean and smooth on these opening turns. 0.71 back at the first intermediate. Oh, but she is skied out here just as the terrain drops away. A couple of challenging turns and just didn't quite have the height that the turn started early enough on these long Super G skis. And that'll be a DNF for Nicole Wardley of Great Britain. We go to the Canadian Estelle Martin out on course now. Racing out of Sutton Mountain in Quebec. So Estelle Martin has qualified for these World Junior Championships as her last year as a junior. Good skiing here on the opening section through that left-footed delay gate. Now can let the skis run out onto the flats through this second intermediate. She's 1.13 off the pace. She's been over here in Scandinavia competing in the most recent Europa Cup races. Picked up DNFs, but she did push out of the set. Those were her 3 first Europa Cup starts of her young career. And from bib 34, the Canadian Estelle Martin crosses the finish line, skis into the top 15, a 14th place finish for Estelle. We go back up to the top quickly. We go to Alexandra Skorohodova from Kazakhstan. And again, a racer that competed at the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games. She races and trains with the Apex 2100 postgraduate, the PG team, a group of smaller nations that come together to support their Europa Cup and World Cup seasons. And Skorohodova did a great job at those Olympic Winter Games, and she's here competing at these World Junior Championships. 1.38 off the pace at intermediate number 2 for Skorohodova. And on this lower section, she's trying to keep it compact over all of this terrain, hold that aerodynamic tuck position, and Skorohodova crosses the finish line, skis into 21st position, 2.18 back. Next to go is Anna Bokal for Slovenia. And the Slovenian has her first World Junior Championships here in Narvik. 1.36 back at that opening split. 2 Europa Cup starts to her name for the Slovenian. Now Anna Bokal through that delay gate. Now out across this flatter section, 2.95 back. And now towards the finish, it stays fairly flat, but there's a lot of terrain. It's quite a good set here from the Finnish coach, working well with the terrain, challenging the racers, but keeping a good rhythm and flow the whole length of this track. Anna Bokal for Slovenia crosses the finish line into 35th position. We go to Abby Evans out on course now. Abby Evans for Australia. And Abby Evans, one of those racers that has joined to compete and race and train in the Northern Hemisphere winter. She trains with the FAST ski team, the female Alpine ski team, which is a team out of the Pyrenees, train in the Dolomites. Abby Evans for Australia, 2.72 back at intermediate number 2. And now across the lower part of this track, linking these Super G turns together. That's the key here, to carry speed across the bottom. Really connect all of these turns together. And Abby Evans for Australia from bib 37 skis into 34th position. Vilma Kivela for Finland is out on course now. Vilma 0.43 off the pace at that opening split. Vilma has 2 Europa Cup starts, and that just came recently. Back at the end of February, when the Europa Cup circuit was in Norway. 2 races in Oppdal, 2 giant slaloms. 1.43 off the pace at that second intermediate. This is a good clean ski from the young Finnish skier.
Okay, let's go.
And through these final turns, Wilma Kivela skis into 24th position, into the top 30. It's Eva Malevska next to go, racing from Macedonia. And out on course now. Malevska just getting into a bit of trouble and skis out of the course. Same gate as did that we saw from Nicole Wardley, the British skier, and Eva Malevska from Macedonia is out of the course. Well, we have Ireland next in the gate. 19-year-old Eva McKenna. Out on course now, and she too is competing in the Super G and also in the team combined. Her teammate Annabelle Zerbai will race in the slalom portion of the team combined. Eva McKenna in this opening section. Has made it through the upper section, through that delay gate, now finds that tuck position across the flats. 3.92 back at the second intermediate and final intermediate time. Eva McKenna for Ireland from bib 40 tucks through these final turns, and McKenna will cross the finish line, skis into 38th position. There's your leader, the French skier, Emma Charbonnier. Now out on course is the Mexican skier, Ella Draya Caballero. Great to see Mexico on the start list here. Oh, and she's getting into some trouble. Drops low and late in the line, but just hangs on, and she is still in the course here. Ella has been competing back in the US on the FIS circuit. Through these final turns now for Eladria Caballero from Mexico, and she tucks across the finish line, stops the clock at 57. My apologies, she skis into 39th position. So, Team Mexico into the finish, and we go back to the top. Next racer on course is the Chilean racer Clarita Crespo. Races out of La Parva in Chile, a great training spot for many teams. Oh, and unfortunately for Crespo, she skis out, and she would have been, well, she was entered into the team combined, but her teammate Rosario Holtscher will not be able to ski the slalom portion because Clarita has skied out of the Super G. Back to the top now. Last few competitors here in this Super G here in Narvik for the FIS Alpine Junior World Ski Championships, 45th edition. Maria Lysenko for the Ukraine is now out on course. Well, she's found the podium and picked up a victory at the Ukrainian National Junior Championships that were held in Bukovel. That was on the 27th of February. And she picked up that win in the giant slalom. So we will look for Maria Lysenko throughout the remainder of these Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. And here in the Super G, she's on the lower part of the track. Just a couple gates to go here for Maria Lysenko of the Ukraine, and she tucks for the finish line, stops the clock, and skis into 39th position. Bib 44 out on course now for Turkey. It's Duru Yitziki. On these opening turns, it's not easy conditions. The snow, that wet snow really falling down. It's that type of snow that can stick to the goggles. But what's been good about watching all of these racers come down is it looks as though that's what the jury will be looking for, to see if it starts to stick to the goggles. And it looks to be okay. Now, you could see for Turkey. On the lower part of the track now, finds that tuck position. Trying to keep the skis running smooth over all of this terrain. And you could see for Turkey crosses the finish line into 41st position. Racer 45 out on course now for Argentina, Bianca Ricau. Racing down in Spain. Picked up a top 10 finish, a 10th place finish in a giant slalom race in one of the FIS races in La Molina. Beautiful race slope. I myself raced a Europa Cup there once, and it was a fantastic venue. Great race hill in La Molina. Bianca Ricau for Argentina. Tucking through these final turns, gets a little bit light, nice and smooth back onto that turning ski. And racer 45 for the Argentinian Bianca Ricau for skis into 38th position. Last racer out on course now, bib 46, racing for Greece is Sofia Kikia. So Sofia Kikiat, her first start at a junior world championships. Out across the flats now through that second intermediate. Great to see Greece on the start list. And I'm sure we will see Sofia throughout these championships. Today is the women's Super G and team combined. And then later in the week we'll have the giant slalom, and the closing events will be the slalom disciplines. And Kikia is across the finish line. Skis into 43rd position. And that does conclude the Super G event. We'll have a look at the standings here. It's France that take the gold medal position. Emi Charbonnier wins the Super G championship. Logan Gross Didier for the USA finishes second. And third is Austria, Pia Hautzenberger. Rounding out that top 15, well, Elena Riederer is 15th position. The one and only Canadian on the start list skis into 14th position from bib 34. That was an excellent ski from the Canadian. Well, it wasn't the easiest of race conditions, but the course crew and the jury working hard to make sure that this was a safe race here for this morning's Super G. And this does make put the first race of these Alpine Junior World Ski Championships in the books. It's the women's Super G. There's your top three. France take top spot with Emi Charbonnier. The Americans take silver with Logan Gross Didier, and the Austrians take bronze, Pia Hautzenberger. And the American Logan Gross Didier is only 17 years of age. But it's the French that take top spot. Last year, in Tarvisio, Amy Charbonnier was 18th, could only manage a top 20 finish here. In 2026 in Narvik, she takes gold. So I do remind you that the slalom portion of the team combined goes out at 2:30 p.m. Local time. We will get a look at the slalom skiers, and we cross our fingers. Weather will hold out. If we were able to run a Super G in this weather, there is very high probability that a slalom will go ahead in just about 2.5 hours time. So please do come back and join us. And we thank you for joining us here. Myself, Britt, Janik, the crew and the team at FIS TV, we thank you for joining us here for this Women's Super G in Narvik for the 45th FIS Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. What an exciting event. It's the French Amy Charbonnier that take gold here in the Super G.
Amy, you are world champion in Super G. How does that sound to you?
I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm so proud of me to do my best ski and have a good result for my teammate for the Alpine Combined.
Fantastic. Tough weather, tough conditions. How did you manage to be mentally on point ready today?
The weather is very bad, but the snow it's compact. So when the snow is okay, I just ski and and enjoy the moment.
Do you have a message for your fans in French?
Thank you, my family. Thank you, my sponsor, and this medal is for you too.
Thank you so much. Logan, congratulations to your silver medal in Super G. We had you more on the list for the technical disciplines, giant slalom and slalom. Are you happy with your performance today and the silver medal?
I am very happy with my performance. I was not really expecting to do so well, but it's a very technical Super G and it was very fun, yeah.
You supercharged on the bottom sector. What did you do there and how could you make the difference in those tough conditions today?
I think I made a little mistake up top in this bottom portion. I was just trying to go for it and ski my best and take the best line I could. It's kind of, yeah.
Any final messages for your teammate in the team combined today?
I'm super excited to ski the slalom. We're in a really good position right now and I'm just hyped for the tech, yeah.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Pia, congratulations. Bronze medalist in Super G. Are you happy with your performance today?
I'm really happy. Right now I'm just trying to enjoy the moment and take the good energy with me.
Are you ready to fight for the podium in the team combined as well, with your teammate?
Oh, definitely. I wish her the best of luck, and then if she does also good, I think we have a good chance for another medal.
Thank you. And finally, do you have some messages for your fans in Austria at home? You can also say it in your mother tongue.
I want them to celebrate, so have fun today and enjoy the evening.
Thank you so much. Good luck for the team combined.
Thank you.